want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Labaquayim, Shalom to the elect that's laboring. I want to do a video just going into, we hear a lot of, I heard a lot of groups say this, so this is not directed at one particular group or person, but I hear a lot of people say we are basically fellow Israelites. Almost fellow, I would say, because we all teaching that we're Israelites. But what if I say that technically we're not fellow brothers? We're not really fellow Israelites in a sense, okay? Because when you go into being a fellow Israelite, you would have, well, let's look up the word. Let's go into fellow. Fellow really means a male, like someone says a handsome fellow. But when you deal with definitions, you deal with the Old English and these definitions, they will always have a definition 1, definition 2, 3, 4, because they start adding words. That's why you got to go to etymology. They start adding definitions on top of words, okay? I'm going to just get to the point. It says the word fellow means one of a pair, a mate, okay? Like basically one body. When you go to Ephesians 4:4, when it says we are all one body, okay, and one hope, one faith, okay, that's a fellow, okay. Goes on to say obsolete. Hold on, let me go on up here. A comrade, that's the first one. A comrade or associate, okay. One of a pair, and equal in rank, power, or character. A peer, okay? Now, when we say Great Millstone got the 100% truth, then you can't be equal in rank. Whether you hate it, you like it or not, okay? So this is kind of twofold video because basically going into who is my fellow brother and who is an apostle for Yahawashi, okay? You got guys putting that up on there as claiming that they're the real apostles. When you look at it, apostle to her, honestly, the one started the apostle thing. Okay, I remember way back in the day, quite a few years back, when he said, "Hey, we're gonna start calling, we're gonna start calling ourselves apostles." Now, the apostles just meant, it's being sent forth. Okay, but when you look at it, you got this guy, Apostle Geno Jennings, and he's teaching some of the Hebrew way and making his doctrine. A lot of you guys ain't no different than Geno Jennings. You're nothing really but a Christian church on steroids, okay? So we're all apostles, but to be an apostle, you have to do what? Let's see what the scriptures say, okay? For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, okay, the same is my brother and my sister and my mother. So what is the Father commanded us to do? Let's go on to Matthew 22:9. This is one of the things. Go ye therefore to the highways and hedges, and the many ye shall find, bid to the marriage. And this is going to go to the twofold thing, okay? Because we cannot be fellow Israelites, basically brothers, if we're not, as the scriptures, as the definitions say, one of a pair. Amos, was it 2 and 2 or 3 and 3? Says, can two walk together unless they be agreed? No, we can't. So that makes us not one of a pair. It doesn't make us a mate. Like the Yahawashi talks about the bridegroom, okay? Just being prepared. Okay, that's almost like an adulterous wedding. You got the woman standing there, and then you got another woman walking down the aisle, an emotional woman. Okay? That's not going to work. We have to be like mates, and that's going into that word too, a fellow. Also, it's got different definitions, but it means a husband, okay, to a wife. Okay? And we know what the scriptures say about that. Okay, so we are supposed to meet the bridegroom, so we can get delivered. But a lot of Jake wants to make up their own doctrines and claim that they're the real apostles. Is this not parroting? And I'm called a parrot? And you got guys naming their channels after what the Apostle Tahar basically said through the Spirit? If that ain't parroting. But then you got guys who don't go out there. You got guys that scoff. They'll side with anybody that come against us, even though that they know that they're wrong. You got guys who'll side with somebody who don't believe in the mark of the beast. Or they believe in the mark of the beast and they don't believe in it, or vice versa. Only if it comes against Great Millstone. So is that even righteous? Where guys will side against whoever just to come against us? Which is good. I kind of like it, to be honest. Say I'm doing something right. Okay? All right, Matthew 19:28. It says, and Yahawashi said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of his glory, ye shall also sit upon 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? So, in order to be following the Yahawashi in the regeneration, what must we do? We must be all on one accord, and we must be going out there and teaching, and we must be prophesizing and not claiming that we're our own prophets and we're making up our own stuff. And yet we take everything that we learn from men, elder men that taught us, and then we go out and then just teach and do whatever the hell we want to do and say, the hell with those men that taught me. I mean, this is the mindset of some people and how they think. This is the mindset. Look, we're under a house, okay? When you're dealing with the brotherhood, the one body is basically a house, which basically means being sheltered, okay? Now, when you have family under one house, there's rules, okay? Who can use the bathroom when? You might have 2, 3 bathrooms in the house. What time to cook, when not to cook. This is what we don't do, and this is what we do according to house rules. But so we can't have strangers coming in our house saying we could do whatever the hell we want to do. I could cook when I want. I could get up 5 o'clock in the morning, do what I want. I don't have to pay no bills, and I can do what I want. I don't have to clean the bathroom. I ain't got to do a damn thing. But come and steal everything that I've learned from the owner of the house, the head of the house, and then do what the hell I want to do. I could sign a name on the lease and say, hey, I'm part of it, but then when I come in, I don't do a damn thing to help the body of the house. And this is what we see in these situations with a lot of these weirdos who cut on the TV or cut on the computer, and they see the apostles teaching and they see the scriptures coming out. They open up a pen and pad, they jot down what they learn. Then inside their head, somehow in their corrupted skull, they start thinking that, hey, I'm better than that. I'm smarter than him. But then they got the white man on the job telling them what to do. They got the white man laying them out, okay, writing them up. And they will do anything for that so-called Edomite. I know this. I seen it done. Jake could do anything to get that check or get that cash. But somehow they will do nothing decently in order for what Yahawashi set up. So they will even call themselves apostles and go out calling themselves, which they are false apostles, and they'll go out and teach, and some of them don't even teach. And somehow they become great. And then what they do is each sector that breaks off and do their own thing because they're hurt and they feel that they were not sufficient enough to stay in the truth, then what they do is they link up with every other reprobate, get together, and just start throwing shots. But they don't get together and form one doctrine. That's the craziest thing about it. If everybody was right, and you look at all these guys, they break off and they form their own doctrines, but they never get together under one coalition for one doctrine, but they will come together under one coalition to come against our doctrine. If that's not confusing enough. So what did Apostle Paul say, man? Okay. Let's go to another scripture. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions. Okay, so now here's another situation. You got guys that they hate One West, and they'll come against the different One West groups. Some Old Testament Israelites, some Old and New Testament, but then they don't believe in the One West doctrine, which they've learned from. But then they'll get together and come against Great Millstone or IUIC and these other groups and blase blase. But then what they do is when it comes to one particular group, like us, as Great Millstone, they'll throw all of their doctrines aside to come against us. They don't care. And it never stops anything. The truth continues to go on. So it's like beating a dead horse, and they can't do anything about it. And the more they can't do anything about it, the more upset they get. So here you got all these guys with 5, 6, 7 different doctrines. We see this. Some feed off each other's doctrines. And then all of a sudden, they won't come against each other for their false doctrines. That's confusing. That's confusing. Anyway, let's go to Acts. Acts 3:18. But what Yahweh predicted through the mouth of all the prophets, okay, that his Messiah, Salakia, but those things which Yahweh before has shewed by the mouth of all his prophets, that Yahawashi should suffer, he have so fulfilled. So wait a minute. I thought the Lord just don't speak through men. I thought it wasn't about men. Well, I don't get it. And then when he shew it amongst prophets, he didn't just spill it among any old body. He set up an order when he did things. And you had to know those prophets were set up with particular orders. Okay, they had ranks. They had people pretty much under them that listened to them as well. That's what prophets did. They spoke, they prophesied. Okay, the apostles. Okay, Paul, who wasn't even a part of the 12. You got to understand that this thing goes on levels. A lot of you guys, and I said this before, you need to take off your garment, man. Just take it off, put it on a nice hanger. Get one of the Moabs to press it for you. Start over. You know the scripture says that ye ought to be taught again. Start over. Okay? Or better yet, just keep doing what you're doing because the Lord set you up to do it. The bottom line is if you're not teaching what we're teaching, and I'm teaching, going out trying to compel to come in, then we're not fellow Israelites. We're not brothers. Okay? And you're not an apostle. Okay, so if you got 2 fellow Israelites, and this is why I went into this word fellow, who's together, one believe in the mark of the beast, the other one doesn't believe in the mark of the beast, right? Someone comes up and start asking questions about the mark of the beast. Which one of you are going to contend and fight for the truth, as Jude, the 1st chapter says, to fight, to convince the gainsay or convince this person that the mark of the beast is the chip or not the chip? Which one are you going to do something, man? But you know what you guys will do? We don't need to worry about that right now. We need to worry about how to come on common grounds. You niggas been trying to come on common ground for a long time. And to be honest, you are on a common ground, man. Okay? You're on a common ground of scoffing. That's all I have on that. Shalom.